4 wins, 2 in a row, over 100 laps led, a 13-point lead over second place, and 20 points clear of third. The picture of 2024 Supercross becomes ever clearer. Cooper Webb ostensibly stayed in the championship hunt with a valiant effort that fell short. Jason Thomas asked the tough question. Paraphrased, "What the hell are you going to do?"
So it's the points are starting to diverge a little bit. You guys are starting to gap out. What's it going to take down the stretch to try to close that gap down and try to make it into the final couple of rounds there?
Who knows? This season's been crazy, so I think
Chase Sexton is 20 points in arrears and shows only sporadic signs of his former speed. Eli Tomac gated poorly, ran 16th or so on the first lap, and could only manage a 7th place. He's now over a full race behind in the championship chase. At this midpoint in the season, it appears that the only rider who can beat Jet is Jet. Maybe the season's outcome begins to seem inevitable. But we have seen a similar scenario play out much differently in the antecedents of Indianapolis Supercross. In 1992, a 19-year-old phenom was leading the AMA Supercross point standings midway through the season.
That's what they were saying. We're able now to elevate our riding up to the level of where Damon Bradshaw has been riding. And Dave, at the outset, you remember we talked about that. Can Damon Bradshaw continue to dominate by picking up his pace?
He held a convincing margin over the wily veteran who was battling for the championship. The title was his to take. And it all went over the handlebars, literally.
Damon Bradshaw drops back again, but he seemingly is able to pull up to Stanton at will. And again, Dave, I'll point out, I think that he's waiting until the last couple 3 laps before he makes a really hard charge and tries to take over that number 1 spot. Stanton is, Bradshaw's in trouble. Bradshaw with an unbelievable end-over-end drag. Bradshaw is off the track. This is the motorcycle. Bradshaw is on the far side of the racetrack, and he came off until...
Most somehow remember that Damon Bradshaw booted the 1992 Supercross Championship in Los Angeles at the Coliseum. But it actually all went south in the Midwest at the first ever Supercross race to be held in the home of the biggest open-wheeled car race in the world. Yamaha's Damon Bradshaw, who had led the series coming into the event, cross-rutted on a triple and went from shadowing Honda's Jeff Stanton for the lead to rolling up the windows on the 12th of 20 laps. In visible pain, Bradshaw got up slowly, finished 19th, and lost the points lead he'd held since the second race of the series.
Bradshaw is going to lose the championship point lead in Indianapolis after an unbelievable smash-up.
Jeff Stanton would take the win that night, the 15th Supercross victory of his career, and eventually earn his 3rd and final Supercross championship at season's end. Bradshaw, who had won 5 races that season, entered the Indy round with 180 points. Stanton had 1 win and 161 points coming in to Indianapolis. He left with a 6-point lead, which he would parlay into the title in Los Angeles some months later. The Hoosier Dome was a dome stadium in Indianapolis, completed at a cost of $77.5 million as part of the Indiana Convention Center, with the cost split between private and public money. Following in the footsteps of Houston's Astrodome was one of several super stadiums to be built in the 80s, along with the Minneapolis Metrodome, the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, and the Pontiac Silverdome. Like the Metrodome, the Hoosier Dome's 153-foot ceiling was supported by air pressure within the stadium. The There were warning signs posted cautioning patrons of the high winds at the doors when exiting the facility. It was the home of the Indianapolis Colts NFL franchise for 24 seasons, from 1984 through 2007. But we've no time for stick and ball nonsense. Ray Herron won the inaugural running of the Indianapolis 500, held May 30th, 1911 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Racing has been a staple of Indy culture ever since, and the Indy 500 has become the world's largest single-day sporting event. Completed in 1909 as an automotive test track, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is a national historic landmark and the world's largest sports venue by capacity, with 235,000 permanent seats. The home of the biggest open-wheel car race in the world has been a long-time stop on the Supercross Tour, with an almost consecutive run of 32 years on the schedule. The Indianapolis Supercross was held in the RCA Dome 17 times from 1992 through 2008 before it was demolished. Lucas Oil Stadium would take over hosting the Indianapolis Supercross in 2009. That first race, held in Indianapolis, was on March 21st, 1992, and the series has not missed the city since, except for the 2020 season, altered due to some strong flu. 2024 will mark the 32nd Supercross race held in Indy. The sophomore stop for Supercross in Indy came in 1993, so of course, there would be a lot of this.
We can understand if you associate Indianapolis with the big race over at the Speedway, but I guarantee you, fans, you're going to see some great action tonight in Indy on two wheels. And here comes McGrath. He says, let me by. And I don't know, was that a sachet out of the way on the part of Lamson, or was he just kind of pushed that way because of momentum? Either way, he is out of the way, and McGrath is in clear control of this one. Say goodbye. Where's the checkered flag? Well, Jeremy managed to knock.
Jeremy won the 1993 Indianapolis race on his march to his rookie championship. When he repeated the following year, in 1994, it was his 6th win out of 8 starts.
Knows how to flick that motorcycle around the Supercross track. And Dave, while a lot of them are flying through the air, Jeremy McGrath taking the checkers flag, not even celebrating. A lot of riders are flying through the air very high. McGrath is able to stay low and get back to the power to the dirt quickly. That's it. Keep the power on the ground. That doesn't pay off to go way up in the air. It pays off to go forward. Here he is celebrating. 6th time this year. That's just remarkable.
Jeremy would take the win in Indy again in 1995, 1996, and 1998. And then his 6th and final Indianapolis win in 2000. The winningest Indy rider of all time. As an aside, on the same night McGrath collected that 6th win, Travis Pastrana made his professional dirt bike racing debut, finishing 4th in the 125 class. Pastrana would go on to earn one of his 14 career professional victories in Indianapolis in the following year. Moving up to the premier class for 2002, in Indianapolis, Pastrana would finish 8th after first leading and then an infamous run-in with one Ricky Carmichael, when RC knocked Pastrana down and was booed out of the stadium. I was there. It's not what happened, but that's what happened. After several scintillating exchanges for the lead, Pastrana bobbled, trying to block Carmichael, and went down. But the fans blamed RC anyway, and seldom has a Supercross crowd more quickly turned. Yamaha's David Villeman launched a last lap pass on Carmichael to steal the main event win. Just as Pastrana had made his professional debut 2 years before, in 2000. Footnote to a footnote, in 2002, a young Australian Chad Reed would score his first race win in Indianapolis in the 125 class. Speaking of Carmichael, and we'd have to in this time period, RC had won the previous year, in 2001, on a Kawasaki in his first championship indoor season, and would win again on a Honda in 2003, and then twice more on a Suzuki in 05 and 06. The hugely popular winner in 2004 was Indiana's own hometown hero, Mike LaRocco. LaRocco actually hole shot the race, a rarity for the South Bend native, and led wire to wire. Then points leader and eventual season champion, Chad Reed, had crashed in the first turn and came from last to third in the race. James Stewart won the 2007 Indy stop on the circuit, and then Chad Reed closed out the RCA Dome era with a win in 2008, before opening Lucas Oil Stadium with a win in 2009. Lucas Oil Stadium is a multi-purpose facility constructed to allow the removal of the RCA Dome and expansion of the Indiana Convention Center on its site. It opened on August 16, 2008, located on the south side of South Street, just a block from the former site of the RCA Dome. Like Carmichael, Ryan Villapoto has 4 wins in Indianapolis, all coming in a row between 2010 and 2013. The rival Ryan, Dungey, picked up the mantle with 3 straight wins from 2014 through 2017. Frenchman Marvin Musquin won back-to-back in 2018 and 2019. The 2020 race was canceled. Post-COVID, Indianapolis played host to 3 rounds of the 2021 season, and all 3 were swept by Team Honda's Kenny Roczen. In the first, Roczen bested Eli Tomac and Cooper Webb. Roczen repeated in the second Indy race, this time over Justin Barcia and Tomac. It was Roczen, Webb, and Musquin in the third. The series, of course, resumed operations as normal for 2022, and at the single stop in Indianapolis, Eli Tomac won over Barcia and Musquin. And as most will remember, Kickstart Kenny took an immensely popular win at Indianapolis last year, the first for a yellow bike since Kenny himself won races in 2016. So, as we move into the second half of the season, it suddenly seems like a foregone conclusion that only Jet can beat Jet. History tells us that the winner of Daytona has won the title 78% of the time. Looking ahead to the weekend, the winner of the Indianapolis Supercross has gone on to win the 450 title in 20 of 31 seasons. Scratch all of that. As do the old dogs and the new tricks. When Cooper Webb sits in second, chasing Jet like a bull terrier after a bone, at some point he has to realize that Jet isn't a bone. He's a car. A fast-moving car. Going places. And even the dog who chases the car doesn't know what he's going to do with it, when and if he catches it. Most old dogs wise up, sit on the porch, and let the cars go by. And hell no. We don't want Cooper Webb and Eli Tomac to curl up in a corner and take a nap like a good boy. No. No. Not even. Not ever. Even if it is inevitable. We want to see Tomac and Webb come out to play. Great riders. All time. Tomac has the superior record, but those of us who were there will never forget Webb gunning down Hurlings in Charlotte. Legendary. But every dog has his day. Eli and Coop have had theirs. And now, Skippy is having his. And hey, if you like this video, please like this video. Click the subscribe button. It's free of charge. Meanwhile, thanks for watching this.
We're back in Indianapolis for Supercross action. Bob Hanna has caught up with one of the weirder members of this crowd.
Bobby the Brain, what are you doing at the Supercross race?
Well, I thought WrestleMania 8 was right here, April 5th. I got here early, and I'll tell you something. This is fantastic. I've never seen anything like this. It's just like WrestleMania. You're going to see bodies flying, but without motors.
We see all kinds at Supercross.
Huh?